welcome to another how-to video on Kriyastream. Kriyastream is a cursor-like app for PMs, and in this video I'll be showing you the new user onboarding experience. Given that our app is still in private beta, we can only invite users who have applied to join the waitlist. To invite a user, I can click on the invite menu in the sidebar. Now, given that I'm an admin, I can invite users. I can send out invitations to users to actually join the platform. But if you're already a user of Kriyastream, depending on your subscription level, you should be able to add or invite other users to your existing team. That's what this tab does. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to try to invite a support user from my organization to join the team and create a new team and go through a full user onboarding process. Now, as I started to type the email address, you could see that it does some email validation and then tells you whether the email you're providing is a user that can be invited, or if the user already exists, it'll find it in our user directory, kind of like how you would invite somebody to your GitHub repo. It finds the user with the right handle. In this case, if they're already part of Kriyastream, you'll find the user. So you're not going to invite them to the app. But if the users already exist in Kriyastream, you should be able to invite them to your team. So after putting in the email address, I'm just going to say send an invitation, and this should send an invite. Once we get an email, we'll follow the steps in that email, click on the link to start our onboarding process. All right, so let's check if we have our email. I'm going to start a new incognito window, start the flow in a new incognito window. So I'm going to go here and paste this. Instead of clicking and starting a new session, I just wanted to show no conflicts with existing sessions. So here we go. So I have options to sign up with Google, GitHub, or Microsoft, so I can use those, and it's a much faster process to just log in with an existing account, or I could just do more traditional login, and I'm just going to say, this is John Doe. I'm going to give a simple password. You can see the password validation getting filled out. So everything matches, so I should be able to sign up with my email. And it says sign up successful, and then it takes me to this 3-step process. The first step is for me to just give my team name. I'm just going to call it an Acme team. Now this is interesting because it asks you for a location. The location is really needed to set up your team's capabilities and your rate cards. So for calculating the cost of labor, we want to be able to give you a list of rates and rate cards for your team members depending on their geography and where they work. So if your team is located in the United States, we'll just pick that, and then we are looking for the nearest major city, because if you hire employees in New York City, the cost for the same role in New York City is different than what it would be in a place like Atlanta versus Chicago versus San Francisco. And we're able to give you some starter rates for your team members so we can actually calculate the cost of labor. So a nice little fancy UI that shows you where the city is located. And then I hit next, and then we have already pre-populated a handful of industries. So you will pick an industry that your team belongs to. Now, this is the kind of work that your team performs. In my case, my team performs software and technology related work, so I'm going to pick that. And then I get to pick my team's capabilities. So here are some sample capabilities. You can add and modify these later. Obviously, you can skip through this whole process if you like, and you can ask your AI coworker, Kriya, to actually create a lot of these for you. I'm just going to pick an industry. I'm not going to select anything here, or I could say, I have a team of cloud computing team members, and I can pick very specific roles for which my team will get set up, or I can just leave it unchecked and I'll just hit next. In this case, it'll just create all of the roles available in Kriyastream for this particular industry. And that's it. So if I hit complete here, It's going to do a bunch of stuff behind the scenes and tells me, yep, onboarding completed successfully. It's going to redirect me to my dashboard. And here you go. This is your starting point for creating a new project. But let me show you what actually got created behind the scenes. So in order to see your team settings, I would expand the left side menu and click on my team. And at this point, I can see a number of things for my team. I can see my team's details. I can see a list of all the roles or all the capabilities that we created under this industry. So my team, I can have team members from all of these areas of specialization that we build apps and offer services for. Now, for each of these, you will see there are some job roles that are pre-populated for you. And again, as you estimate and create work templates, project templates, product templates, and you do your work breakdown, you will need these roles so you can estimate the actual labor and then also estimate the cost of labor. But in order to finish a particular task, you want to know the right set of capabilities and the right set of roles required to complete a task. Now, the great thing about Kriyastream is that this not only applies to humans, but also to agents. So you can look at a list of agents that were created for you, but what we will show you in the future is agents have their own capabilities, professions, and skills. Yeah, we know skills are a big thing, but we don't straight away jump to skills. We want to be able to create a team of agents that are organized very similar to humans that specialize in a certain capability offering and then are competent with certain professions, and in that they specialize in a skill. And that's also important because when I look at my rate cards that we set up, there's a default rate card. I can view the rates here. What you'll see here is for each of the professions, you'll have at least an intermediate experience level in that location and a short-term versus long-term rate type kind of created for you already. And what this will immediately tell you is the true cost of labor or the ROI from work either being assigned to humans or AI. And this, we think, is super critical in managing work and managing product and project from a cost perspective. But if you're in professional services, you can also use it to project revenue. Besides that, we also have a location created for a default office location. And again, you just saw the reason for that. And then now you can invite members and do a bunch of other things. And we set up a few settings like experience levels, location types, rate types, task types. These are all things that you can tailor and make it very specific to your particular team. And of course, you can check your usage and billing. And in this case, every user starts with a free plan, and you get a bunch of daily and monthly credits that should allow you to create one or more projects. And then if you are ready to switch, you can always switch to a pro or a team plan where you can invite your team members and then collaborate even further. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and this is just to show you how a new user gets onboarded with their own team. Whether you're a single person team, if you're a freelancer, you may want to create work templates for yourself. If you are a multi person team, you can invite your team members and have them all collaborate in creating work, managing work templates, and assigning that work to both humans and AI. So, and don't forget, you always have your Kriya coworker on standby that can do all of the things in managing and creating work, estimating, assigning, optimizing, and identifying risks and opportunities in new work. Hope you enjoyed this video.